thank you to Lifeway for helping me, helping my family, and helping the 100 people now in our team who are using Lifeway daily and their families. Big thank you. Love the products.
And I have energy through the roof.
I sleep better. I have so much more energy.
Throughout the day, I can focus better. I can concentrate in my work.
Our church worship service lasts 45 minutes. For the last 2 years, I've not been able to stand that long. 2.5 weeks into wearing the X39 patch, the pastor said, "You can now be seated." It dawned on me at that moment that, my goodness, I've been standing this whole time, didn't realize it.
After starting using the technology for approximately 2 weeks, my pain completely disappeared.
32 years of pain gone in 3 days.
I just love the products. They just help me to feel younger and younger year after year.
Thank God for X39.
My skin become younger, softer, firmer.
It's been really amazing.
I love X39 because it really helped reduce the inflammation in my knee. I can now run again. Woohoo!
Well, good evening, everyone. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Hi. Welcome to our Testimonial Tuesdays. I'm your co-host, Robin Blank Mascari, and we have a special guest this evening, Dr. Henrietta Alban. And what we do on these calls is we love hearing from you. So the first part of the call is when you get to share your stories. A minute or less, be brief, be compliant, and be done. And we want to hear what it was like before, what patch you used, and now what you can do that you weren't able to do before that you're excited about. And so we're going to just get the ball rolling, and we're going to start out with your stories, and we'll bring Dr. Henrietta on, and then there will be time at the end for Q&A. So what we'd love to have you do is raise your hand if you're ready to share. We want a whole bunch of you to raise your hand. So we have a lot of people and we can get through a lot of stories. And I want to, let's see here. Honey, is there someone who can help admit people?
I'm doing that. And I think John's got his hand up, John Ward.
Okay, we'll get started with John. So, oh, good. You guys are lining up. So we'll go to John, then Roger, then Kate. We'll see who else is ready. So John, you want to get the ball rolling here with your wonderful story.
I'll get the ball rolling. So I moved to Nashville about, 6 months ago, and I had to get a Tennessee driver's license. Well, I couldn't pass the eye test because I have monovision, but that was a blessing. And the blessing was I had to go get the eye test, got my eye test, my eyesight from wearing X39 since June of 2019 and X49 since, let's see, when did it come out? December of 21. My eyesight has improved from 2025 to 2015 in both eyes. So it has made a world of difference in my defensive driving, how I see, and just remarkable.
You can see clearly now, huh?
I can see clearly now.
That's a wonder. Thank you. You know, there's so many things that can happen with this, and it's so wonderful. So you're getting your eyes checked regularly because things change. Thank you so much, John. That was wonderful. And this will help a lot of other people be thinking about, and that's why sharing your stories is so valuable, because it inspires people to be thinking about other people to share this brilliant technology with. And before, I didn't do this, but I know we have a whole bunch of new people, so I want to give a special warm welcome. And you're welcome to share stories too, all of you that are new. So let's go to Roger's next.
Let's do a sound check. I'm on the road, so can you hear me?
You sound great, Roger.
Yeah, I just want to share a short testimony. Like this last Sunday, I was making breakfast, and I always have a weak back because when I was 18 years old, somebody poked me with a screwdriver in my low back. So I always have back pain if I'm standing around for a while. And I had the X39 on my neck, and I put an X39 on my lower back and the 49, and the pain disappeared about in 2 minutes. That's
Whoa.
it. Thank you.
That's amazing. Someone poked you with a screwdriver? That was rude. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for sharing, and I'm so glad you're better, Roger. Okay, we have Kate next, and then Janet, and I'm not sure who else is going to be ready, but put your hand up, please. So why don't you go ahead, Kate?
Thank you. Last Friday, my friend who is a new user, he's been on the patches X39 for about 4 weeks, and he didn't tell me that he had a hernia until right before Dr. Jeff's call. So I got on there. Dr. Jeff said, tell him to bracket where his intestine was trying to poke through the wall and was causing him a lot of pain. It was red, it hurt really bad, and it was swollen. He did not 2 patches, but he went home and blew off the doctor he was going to see about the surgery. He went home and put 3 patches on, laid down for 3.5 hours, texted me what happened. I pulled off the road. I said, I want to hear this from him. He said, I looked down and it wasn't red anymore. And it wasn't swollen as much as it was. And it didn't hurt like it did when I laid down. He went from a 5.5 to a 3.5 in 3.5 hours. And it looks like his body is so sensitive and so ready to heal. Maybe he won't have to have surgery. Who knows?
Who knows?
That's my prayer.
Isn't that beautiful? You know, there's nothing like helping a friend and having them transform. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Kate. That was wonderful. Okay, Janet, you're next, and then Sunshower, and then Anne.
Thank you, Robin. Well, I'm an advanced nurse practitioner and an Air Force veteran, and I came home from Desert Storm with what they call Gulf War syndrome, with all kinds of issues that developed over time. And I was amazed that some of the issues went away really quickly, like sleep disturbances and pain I had in my neck and my arm. It was gone within a week or 2. And some things took a lot of time. Well, to me, it was a lot of time because you're waiting for it to get better, right? So sciatic pain was gone in 3 months, pain down your leg from nerve pain. And also I had pain in my hands and my feet, that burning, really bad pain that you could get. And I had that gone in about 7 months. So my point to that is sometimes things do happen quickly. Sometimes they take time to get better. Do not give up on it if you're dealing with something that's wrong with you. Give it some time.
Thank you so much for that. And it's true. Things, you know, the benefits are cumulative over time. And it's so wonderful. We have some background noise. Honey, can you see where it's coming from? Okay, great.
Robin and Janet, I muted you when I muted everyone else, so please unmute.
Okay. All right.
No worries.
All right. If you're not speaking, please have your line stay muted. Okay. And then when I call on you, unmute. And what Janet said, I think is really, really important, because there's, you know, the results and benefits are cumulative over time. And there may be some things over time that the stem cells get to. So be patient, drink your water, be consistent, and use your health tracker, because it just keeps getting better. You guys have seen my finger that was stuck like this for 20 years, and now it doesn't. Okay, we got someone else. Honey, you want to get that?
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you, Janet. That was beautiful. Okay, next is Sunshower.
Good evening, everybody. So I want to tell you my X39 story that I was consistent, wearing X39. I've been on it now for 3 years, but 1 year ago, when I was out weeding in my backyard, I got the surprise of my life. I've never been able to smell. And I was doing the weed thing, and I had these 2 different weeds in my hand, and they passed in front of me like this. And I go, wait a minute. One weed smells this weed smells differently. And then I'm like, what? I'm smelling, and I can smell now.
So that is Incredible. And so this is this is just a gift that you never know what's going to happen. And lots of things get better. And you had no expectation of that happening, did you?
No, and can I just tell my sponsor's quick story too?
Sure.
Okay, so my sponsor is a homeopath, and a woman came to her who had had a stroke 2.5 years prior. She had learned to walk and she could sort of talk now, but she wasn't able to write. And so my homeopath did the HAT protocol with her. And we can talk about that later, but in 10 minutes, the woman said, pass me that paper and pen. And she wrote her name for the first time in 2.5 years. So it can be quick, it can be really quick.
That's so great. That happens so fast. Be ready and open for miracles. And isn't it a wonderful way to live in the world that we know we're going to hear miracle stories all the time? So we have Anne, you're next.
Hi, nice to see you tonight, Robin.
Always a great to see you.
Yeah, I want to talk about, something that happened when I first got started 3 years ago, because, when we first get started, we don't always have the belief system about, we hear the stories, but you always have to have that personal experience, right? And I had not had I had deep sleep the first night that I used X39, but there was nothing else that I noticed. But my son came over 2 weeks after I started, and he's a glass blower and he got something in his eye. He was up all night. The eye was burning. He got no sleep. He had a lot of pain in it. He walked into the house and his eye, you could see the eye was bloodshot. It was tearing. And I said, what is going on with the eye? And he told me the story. And I said, I'm hearing these amazing stories about the stem cell patch, X39, that it helps with rapid wound healing, inflammation, pain. He had all those things. And he said, I don't have time, Mom, to go to the ER. I've got a full day of work. I'm willing to try anything. So I stuck the patch behind his neck. And 20 to 30 minutes later, he's leaving the house. He had stayed to talk with us for a little bit. And he turned and looked at both of us and said, it's gone, Mom. I have no more burning, no more pain. The eye wasn't red. He wasn't tearing anymore. And my husband's sitting at the table, doubting Thomas. And he says, no friggin' way. There's no way. How can that happen? It was really quick. And it was really, when it happened, I was like, oh my God, that's what they said would happen, right? So it's really remarkable when you experience it.
That's beautiful. I love that story. And it created, what happened to the doubting Thomas?
Well, he had to see it twice because my son sent his wife over that same day, and I ended up patching her for pain management. And she went home. She was at like a 10 when she arrived, and when she left, in 4 minutes time, she went down to a 4. And then I got her down to a 2, and she was not able to turn her neck when she arrived, and she was turning her neck, raising her arm over her head, which she had not been able to do. And he was like, okay, all right. And so his belief certainly shot up after seeing 2. He experienced 2 in the same day. So it was
beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, it is so fun. And people are like, is this a placebo effect? Is this really real? It's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, and that is the last hand that's up, and we will continue with the program and bring on Dr. Henrietta. Unless anyone else wants to share, we'll take time for 1 or 2 more if you want, but if not, Annette, you're on.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome. My husband and I, we really got serious about these patches back in this past March. We've had them since August. We didn't quite know what to do with them. And that's quite my fault, but I was working full time. And I just thought, I just don't even really have a lot of time to check into this. But in March, my husband got hurt at work moving a big generator. And see, he had a terrific bulge on the right side of his groin. I'm pretty sure it was the right side. But anyway, he went to his doctor because he had this thing come back. He had it before and it went away, and then it came back with a vengeance. It was very large. So the doctor said, we'll set up a surgery. It was kind of quick. So then my son told us to get the patches up. So I put an X39 on him, over his underwear. And overnight, that bulge went way down. It was amazing. We stayed on, we decided to still have the surgery because he can't have this happen again. And they worked him in pretty quickly. So he had the surgery. He was using the patches probably for 2 weeks before the surgery, all afterwards, after the surgery, and it was successful. I had the bulge removed, and the doctor specifically said he cannot get in that swimming pool for 4 to 6 weeks. He said, your husband's a go-getter, and he's 71, but he said he'll want to jump in that pool because he'll feel so good because the pain is gone. So anyway, about 2.5 weeks in, my husband said, I'm ready to go swimming. And I said, no, the doctor said this. And he said, well, I really feel good. I said, well, you're going to have to take that up with your doctor. So, because I'm out of it. I already told you what he said. So my husband kind of felt pretty good, actually. He did go swimming. He started swimming 2.5 weeks after the surgery, and he's been swimming 3 days a week ever since. So his pain went away, and his prognosis was fantastic. And the doctor was very surprised. So
beautiful.
Thank you. We're grateful.
Thank you. Well, one of the great benefits of the copper peptide that gets activated in the X39 is accelerated healing. And we invite everyone to go do your own research on your favorite search engine for GHK-CU, because that's one of the most amazing benefits. I mean, my second knee replacement, I was off my meds, my walker, and my cane in 3 weeks. And that was pretty, yeah, we say wow a lot around here. Okay, so we're going to have Heidi come next, and then John Ward will finish it up. Heidi, you're on.
Hi, thanks for letting me share my motorcycle injury repair story. I am a 52-year-old motorcyclist, and I was just looking on Facebook. 3 years ago today, I finished my motorcycle endorsement, and then 2 years later, I had an injury. I dropped my 400-pound bike and lifted it, and 6 weeks after wearing X39, look what I can do with my shoulder. And I came out of my car to show you, I can totally swing my arm, and I wasn't able to do that until 6 weeks of wearing X39. So I'm happy for X39.
Well, we're happy for you, my dear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, now you're straight up again. Oh, good. You were sideways. I like to see you straight up. Thank you, thank you. Okay, John, let's finish it up.
All right. Well, this is a live younger story. My biological age, I'm 71, is 66 currently. And I will tell you, I've been working in the hot sun with my son, who is 32 years old. And he's melting, he's dying, he is complaining, and I'm out there up and down ladders at 15 feet up, carrying cement board, which is heavy, and basically keeping right up with him, and no complaints whatsoever. Put on usually at night ice wave just to be sure, but X39 and X49 and glutathione and ice wave get me through and get me right back out there the next day.
Oh my gosh. And how many years younger are you again?
I'm 66 biologically.
Okay. And chronologically?
71.
All right. You rock. Isn't that fun? I mean, I'm so proud. You know, I share my age all the time, and people go, huh? It's my next birthday, I'll be 70, and I'm proud of it. So there, we should be proud, because as we get older, we get wiser, right? Hopefully. So thank you everyone for those wonderful stories. We love hearing from you, and that makes such a difference for other people to get inspired to share this technology with their friends and loved ones. So this part of the call, I get to introduce a very special guest. She's a wonderful gift in our community. We have so many practitioners. They are first drawn to LifeWave because there's real science, but then they notice the clinical outcome gets enhanced, and it's very exciting. So Dr. Henrietta Alban is a doctor of traditional she's an ND. Someday I'll learn how to say naturopathy. For the past 25 years, it's probably longer than that, but she really helps people access their own inner light and introduces them to how to be truly holistic and how their bodies operate. And I love the dimension that Dr. Henrietta brings to us, because healing happens on many, many levels, and the inner emotional levels are part of the healing. And she helps people release the blockages that are caught in our bodies that cause things, and release the fears and traumas. So I want to bring on Dr. Henrietta. Where are you? There
I'm
you
right
are.
here.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
nice to see you. It's so
I'm
wonderful.
sorry, I had some technical difficulties. My computer says that it's online, but I can't connect to anything, so I'm on my phone.
Well, we can see you just fine, and we can hear you great too. So
Beautiful.
yay for telephones. Well, Dr. Henrietta, you've been with LifeWave for several years now. And what is it that you love most about LifeWave?
Everything.
Okay.
What I love is the longer we all use it, the more experience we get and the more nuances there are in our applications and in our understanding. And I believe that actually all the patches have their own unique energy that connects with parts of us, and it becomes like a network of information and energy, a little bit like mycelium running under the soil. You know, it's like young woods need the mushroom filaments. And I think that actually is very much what all the patches and their energy effects do in the body, because it's all energy.
That is beautiful. I love it. So when you're working with your clients and patients, what do you say to them on how to get the maximum benefit from this technology, Dr. Henrietta?
It depends where they're at. You know, somebody who's a bit more handicapped than others, I would suggest that they start with Aeon instead of X39 until they're stronger. And I think we talked about this on a recent call as well. It depends what they have. What I have found is really helpful is the YH. So carnosine, glutathione, and Aeon as a sustaining approach. Now, if they're well and they just want more energy or they want to do anti-aging, X39 is first. And then we'll see what they what they like. You know, what do they need? I also believe for all my clients in terms of treatment or protocols, there's adjustments always, no matter what you take, because you grow, your body expands, your body has more information, and your body heals, and not everyone is the same. So X39, and for those people who work out, X39, X49, yeah.
Okay. And how do you use the patches? And tell us about, you know, hydration and what's important to get the maximum benefit.
Well, I always do this on this call. I say, to me, hydration is the number one. So why do I have to mention it? Because it really is for everyone. I apologize. Yes, half your body weight in water ounces. And I don't mean shakes or smoothies or coffees or tea. I mean water. Everything else that has got something in it needs to be digested. It goes through the digestive action, and water does not have to do that. Get some clean, nice water, and just start hydrating in the morning early, really early. When you get up, don't have coffee first. Have at least a half a quart. You can put some lemon juice in it. You could do that to cleanse the waste from the night. The kidneys then are doing much better. Eliminating, and technically by 11 o'clock in my book, you should be clear. Your urine should be clear. So
that, you know what, I want to mention that because that's a really good sign for people, is the color of the urine. Would you just briefly talk about that as far as how that relates to our hydration?
Sure. So when I say you do this first thing in the morning, when you wake up, your urine color can be anywhere on the spectrum, and you want it to be light, but with some yellow in it. You don't want it to be deep orange. And sometimes that has to do with medication that is being eliminated, but a body, for example, is not, the kidneys move things very quickly. And for example, just as an idea, when you notice that you have great urgency, that means that you are not hydrated enough, because the urgency basically speaks to the need of the kidneys to eliminate. And if there's not enough hydration, you have the urgency to go, and there's not much happening. You're not actually in a healthy stream. And that's important, especially for as we get older. Drink as much until you have a solid stream. And I'm sorry, what else was there? Was another question?
No, it's such a great indication of hydration is the color of our urine. And so we're looking for that light lemonade kind of color versus beer, right?
Oh my God, yeah, you don't want, and if it's all white, and there's a great deal of disease, because that indicates, and it smells from ammonia. So we can have urine conversation here.
Yeah, well, it's important, and it's something that we need to talk about more, because it is a really important sign of health. So let's ask one more thing before we open up for some questions from people. And if you do have questions, you can put them in the chat, and you can start putting them in now. I can't go back and look through everything. So if you can put your questions in now, that would be great. And for people that are just starting this technology, what kind of expectations do you set up for them of how soon before they start experiencing something?
Some people notice some things right away. I had a friend who noticed the tingling the moment I put it on. Other people notice more energy. And if you do it during the day, and then at night they report the day and that they slept really well, often for the first time in a long time. X39 is wonderful to start with during the day. And I would just, people are different. We know this. Their bodies are different. The healing processes are different, but the wisdom of the body to take care of itself with the help of the patches can take anywhere from 24 hours to 3 months. So I basically would say, commit a year. I've come away from the smaller amounts of time. Commit to a year, because that is where we have all found is a really good timeline, because you'll go through the seasons, you'll go through healing. Your body has a chance to turn over detoxification, and it's just lovely.
Wow. Okay. Wonderful. So it's always working. It may not be working on what we want it to be working on, but it's always working. And the way our bodies are didn't happen overnight. So give it time. And that's a beautiful thing. Commit. I mean, I tell people, if you're not willing to commit to a minimum of 90 days, don't even get them. It's like, we do have people that get amazing quick results, but I prefer to be conservative on expectations. So any other final words before we open up for some questions? And for those of you that are writing questions, I just want to make sure, because we have a lot of new people, we do not name any dis-ease. If you name it, your comment will be deleted. So it's symptoms only in your questions. And that's wonderful, because we are very, very attentive to being compliant. We're a natural products company, and we don't heal, claim, or cure diseases, but your body is the miracle, and the patches help your body do what it's designed to do, which is come back to homeostasis. So put your questions in the chat with symptoms only. Okay, anything else you want to mention before we open up?
No, since we have a lot of new people, it'll be fun.
Okay, let's see what we got here. All right. And when I see one of those things, I delete it, just so you know. Does Dr. Alban have a patch protocol for easy bruising as a vegan?
Well, my primary thing is, glutathione might work, AON might work, but really easy bruising is a lack of vitamin C.
Simple.
So increase your vitamin C to 2,000 milligrams, maybe once or twice a day. See how that works, if that helps.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. X39 turns on the basic healing protocols, but it may take more time.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Christine is saying one of our new brand partners' son broke his neck. Oh my gosh. He has metal in his neck and has lots of problems throughout the years. Any suggestions about which patch he should use besides X39? He's 28 years old and he is 28. Also, their daughter-in-law is having problems with her kidneys and she wants to know what she should use and where to place them.
Okay, wait. The person who's 28 and has a metal in his neck is the same as having a kidney problem?
That's his daughter-in-law. So we have two different people.
Okay, so that's two questions.
Yeah.
Carnosine, energy enhancer for the neck. I mean, not on the neck, but on the body. Energy enhancer, carnosine, possibly SP6. I think that would be really a question for Tom Acklin because of the neurology that connects with metal in the neck with an injury like that. That's, yeah, that's as good as it gets from me. Sorry.
No, that's great. That's great. Any suggestion, this is from Janet, for a client who suffers from extreme body shakes followed by a period of unresponsiveness, on which patches and where to place them?
Unresponsiveness to?
I don't know. Janet, why don't you put a message in there? But they have extreme body shakes followed by a period of unresponsiveness. So
Okay,
maybe
extreme body shakes, energy enhancer, ice wave, Aeon to soothe the nervous system. It is a little tricky because it depends where this comes from. Are these like a restless leg? Is this all across the body?
okay. And Dr. Henrietta, do you do phone consults?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you can put your number in there because sometimes there needs to be more questions to get more information to give the proper response. And yeah, okay, thank you.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to access this on my phone.
No, that's fine. That's
The
fine.
chat. You have my
that-
phone number.
oh,
You may
okay.
put it
That's
in the
okay.
chat.
Well, I'll read to you. Okay. And if something else comes up, I'll mention it. All right. What's the young, oh, she said, Janet, I have a, okay. What's the youngest age you can use the patches? That's from Londra.
I think there is really no limitation. If there's an injury, if there is a hurtfulness in the body, if there is an illness, depending on what it is, you can use the patches really on everything because it is on every age. It is not, it's not limited. It's not like something is entering the body. It is energy and it's healing. You might want to differentiate how long you leave the patches on the, in this case, child, I would imagine. But there really isn't limitation in terms of applying the patches. It depends on what it's about and for.
Okay. And I know that David suggests, you know, you want to, if they're not verbal and communicative, to stay close to them and monitor them. Yeah. Okay. So Quentin, will this work on one of my neighbors who's dealing with a blood condition in the body that may be hereditary?
X39 to re-stimulate the stem cells in terms of reworking the body so that there is a chance of renewal.
Okay.
I would be there for 3 to 4 weeks and see what it does. This is not a condition that just happened overnight either.
Right, right. It may take some time. Yep. And Lucretia, Sandy, can you give me some suggestions for placement and type of patches for loss of mobility in my ankles and feet due to a botched spinal fusion surgery? Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that, my dear.
Again, I would start with X39, simply again to stimulate regrowth in wherever that's possible. The body has a miraculous capacity to heal itself and to bypass certain restrictions. So sometimes it's really important to just start with the basics and we hear stories about what the X39 does all the time. And we have miracle moments, don't we?
We love
Yeah.
those stories, and you know, everything can get better. We come from the miracle space, so X39 is amazing. Okay, which patches can I use to help with double vision?
Well, since we have so much on carnosine and eyes, I probably would go there. But the other thing I'm getting is that aeon on the back of the neck, in between, not C7, further up, in that little groove when you put your head back, it's above C7. Yeah, it's probably C5 or 6. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Put an on there and the X39 underneath. You could do that.
Always X39. Yes, isn't that wonderful? All right, can X39 help with pinching nerves? And Edris call S. Pinch nerves.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
tricky one. Nerve pain is tricky. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be, but we should also, I mean, so for a relaxation, if you have a pinched nerve, all the tissue around is also tight and it's contracted. So aeon to soothe that, to soothe the inflammation right on top of where that feeling is. And then I probably would put either ice wave or energy enhancer on either side of it.
Beautiful. And either side, isn't that? You're bracketing it. That's wonderful. Okay. And Janet wants to know, what about seizures?
Aeon. Also, are they, yeah.
There's many different kinds of seizures. And so that might require some more questions. And
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, it really depends. The aeon, as we know, is neurologically beneficial. X39, probably I wouldn't put it on C7, but on the little 2 fingers below the belly button to start with, because
Great.
it's a little away. The other thing is glutathione on the gut.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Kathy, I'm new. I've had a persistent cough for months. I only cough up a little clear mucus. It's much worse after I eat something. What would you recommend?
You definitely want to use energy enhancer on the lung points, which is lung 1 is right here on both sides. And if it's sinus, you could use ice wave or energy enhancer there as well. You might not want to go out with a patch on your forehead or on the side.
I've done it.
Yeah. So sinuses, you have white on right always and tan on the left of probably the energy or the ice wave.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And I am, all right. Let's see. Another Kathy, best patches for someone who's unsteady on their feet due to his feet not bending.
That sounds like a structural issue. X39 right on the ankles, if you can. Let's see what that does. Maybe go slow, maybe not, 12 hours, but see if there is an effect. These sort of chronic or structural issues really require fine tuning. And all of us are going through not so much trial and error, but adjustments, like I said earlier, in terms of how they work for us, how we use them.
Okay, great.
Probably Aeon overnight.
Beautiful. Okay, Joni, and people do want your contact information when you can type it into the chat. That would be great. I'll type it in. Why don't I do that right now since you're on your phone?
Right.
And we'll get that for everyone. What's the best way to reach you, Dr. Henrietta?
It's, and just give my phone number is the easiest, 610-781-9817.
Okay, beautiful. All right. So this is interesting. Oh, let's do another one here, but oh, how did things, okay. What about burning in the chest? What patch and where to place?
Burning inside burning?
It's related to a term that has heart in the beginning of it. Well, actually, heartburn is not a diagnosis, that's a symptom. So what do you do for heartburn?
That's right. We can still talk usually.
We can still talk somewhat, yes.
Yeah, I would use apple cider vinegar diluted in water at the beginning of each meal. You can also go to supplements and use like deglycerized licorice, which is short is DGL. You take that before your meal. Heartburn is a question of your digestive system working properly and how much it actually breaks down the food that you're eating. So you could also use Aeon right on the esophagus here. See if that makes a difference. X39 on the back. Again, you know, the interaction of the patches with what is going on will go to where the body wants to heal first. So.
Okay. Well, thank you. This is great information. I love naturopaths because you have this huge tool chest of nature to help us. Yes.
Because we know it works.
It does. It's amazing. Okay, Steve wants to know, what about an elevated PSA?
All right, here goes. Dr. Tom and I were talking about this in the very beginning. Elevated PSA, you want to put energy enhancer on either side of your, what is this for guys? What is the venous
prostate? On the prostate, either side of the prostate?
On either side of the prostate, if it stays, right? Because if somebody is very hairy, it will not stay.
Well, you can put it on the underwear, right?
You could put it on the underwear, good idea. And then the Aeon on the perineum, which is the space between the anus and the bottom of the testicles.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And then 39, again, the usual patch is C7 or below
Great.
C7.
Great, thank you. Chris wants to know, what would you do for fluid in the ear?
Is that related to balance?
It's just, that was all they said.
Okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Yeah, fluid in the ear is an interesting one. I haven't really thought about that with patches.
If it's balance or if it's actually fluid that that is not draining, or you know, it's a little carnosine ice wave on either side, right near the ear, maybe carnosine behind. So carnosine on one side and Aeon on the other. I am intuitively guessing here, so this is not an expertise that I could say I've had a client or a patient who's come with that.
That's an interesting one. We're going to keep asking about that one and see what we can learn about that. So get back to us. Okay, John is saying, my 85-year-old friend has moderate to severe tremors, only sleeps 2 to 3 hours a night, has thin skin that cannot handle the adhesive of patches. Recommendations?
When you wear it over your clothing. It's within 3 inches of the body that the infrared light from the body actually picks it up. So you can easily put it over a nightgown. It doesn't even have to be really tight to the body. as long as it's covering, so you don't have to have it on the skin. That's the same thing for little children too, because the
Beautiful.
patch is here, so.
Isn't that wonderful that we can put it right on our clothes? It doesn't have to touch the skin. You know, we have patches on all 5 of our animals and they go on their collar. They're not touching their body. It's
Yes,
amazing.
exactly.
It's amazing. Okay, let's see. What about, is there anything that can help with the loss of fat pads on the feet? Would any patches help with that?
I would go to energy enhancer in terms of turning on the circulation. Glutathione and the X39 on the back of the neck. See, this is again an issue where the body needs to choose where it goes with the healing.
Yeah. And, you know, we don't know what caused the loss of the fat pads, but X39 to the rescue. Yes. Okay. I'm not sure what this one means, but patches to support a body that's getting bumps all over the place. It could be a rash. It could be a disease. I'm not sure, but.
Glutathione.
Yeah.
Let's see what that does in terms of detoxing. And we know that it increases, the availability of it increases by 300% within a 24-hour period, according to David Schmidt and his testing. So that's really quite powerful. I can't think of anything else I would use first.
Yep, that's great. Okay, Christina says one of my customers is on oxygen and has heart problems. She just got her X39. Where should she place them?
At the usual spot, C7. However, with heart problems, carnosine is really lovely. You may not want to wear it 12 hours in a row. You might want to try with 3 or 4 hours first, and then see how it's more for circulation and to, yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, and the beauty is stem cells are going to go where they're needed. And yep, those 2 spots. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay, where do you place the patch for healing scars? Near the scar and the general places? What do you recommend?
If you can, or
I'm sorry?
If you put it on, you can put it on the scar if you can, if it's not that sensitive. The X39 on the back of the neck, we have heard often that over time they go away naturally. What you could do topically, you could put some aloe gel on it, but really it's dead tissue that gets harder and harder. So try where you, start with X39 and give it maybe 3 months and see what that does. This is not something to rush.
Yeah. And the X39 does remodel scars. And for those of you that are just getting started, we recommend you take a picture in very good lighting of whatever scars you have. I didn't do that. And I had a 9-inch vertical incision up my middle from a major surgery many years ago. You can't even see it anymore. It's amazing. So take a picture and take a picture in good lighting of your face, because that may change too if you're have any of those fine lines and wrinkles. Okay, we're going to get one more, is there anything you'd recommend for a nonverbal child who's on the spectrum?
Aeon.
Great. Wonderful.
That I find really, really helpful.
Oh, there's several more questions, but we have gone over, everybody. We're so grateful for you being here this evening. Thank you all for sharing your stories in the beginning of the call. Thank you, Dr. Henrietta, for sharing your wisdom and being with us. All of our practitioners donate their time to be with us, and we are so grateful for their caring and sharing that they do with our whole community. And thank each and every one of you for showing up tonight. This call is being recorded. It will be, you can find it right away in the Facebook group, or it will probably be tomorrow on our Live Younger YouTube channel on the Tuesday night call. So this time we're going to say thank you and goodbye. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. What a great call.
Bye. Unmute and say thank you.
Great
Yeah,
job.
thank
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you, Dr.
you,
Henrietta.
Dr. Henrietta.
Took a lot of notes.
Excellent call.
Thank
Thank you very much. August 19th, everybody.
Fabulous
Oh,
information. August
Thank
7th.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night. Good night.